Do you have to? Do you have to? Do you have to let it linger? Do you have to? Good old cranberries. Yo, I was checking out the Jeffrey Epstein docu series on on Netflix, and I find it to be quite interesting. But I'm not surprised. The uber rich, Jeffrey obviously handled money for the uber rich, and he had a woman who was into women, or young women or girls or whatever, and they had a whole syndicate going on, a whole you know a whole just a whole crime syndicate going on, and they use the innocent to help commit these crimes. Because it was just perfect. It was just it was just a perfect crime, and it was like, wow, bro, you didn't see yourself, you know, getting locked up because you were doing this anytime soon. Now, here's what I like. I don't know what the age limit of consenting adults is in Florida. I don't know what it is. But I know in some states it's 15, some states it's 16. Uh, Other states, I think like LA, it's 18. I don't know what all the, consenting adults are, consenting age is. But I was listening to the psychiatrist, and she said anybody who's in high school is vulnerable. And I thought about that, like, really? So any high school age is vulnerable? All the way up to 18? Once you're 18, once you're 19, you're no longer vulnerable? It just struck me as, like, really? Because we do not protect anybody who's 18 and under. There is, look, there was a chick in New York. She said when she was 16, the police were sleeping with her. She said a bunch of cops were running through her at 16. She said the police were doing this to her. And then eventually she came out and was just like, yeah, the police are doing this to me. You know, like, like it's nothing. Married, single, it didn't matter. The police are, using me and, doing all kind of, definitely full intercourse things to her. She said the police are doing this to me. And until she decided, I'm not doing this anymore. This at the age of 16. And I was talking, when we was talking about something like this the other day, you guys were talking about double standards. There are double, triple, quadruple standards all over this. Now, I'm not interested because of what Jeffrey was doing. I'm interested in the system that we are all locked into, and the lie that we are subjected to, and then there's the punishment that only some of us are subjected to. So if we take steps back, go through our history, we know that the age of consent was 12. We know this. There were queens and kings who were uh, made to mate at that age, yada, yada, yada. Some of them were forced, some of them weren't. The whole John Smith and the Indian queen, we know she was 12 and John Smith was doing whatever against her will. Now, I'm not saying all of that is right. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens. And it's been happening for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, as long as we've been on the planet. And for that to not happen is just not going to happen. It's going to always happen. And you're not going to stop it. But the people in modern day society who are supposed to stop these actions are the ones who are committing the crimes. You can't tell me that Jeffrey Epstein, who lived in West Palm Beach, a ritzy who's who island, would have 14, 13, 12, 15, 16, just anything under 18 girls, uh, butt naked in some room, giving them a massage, him doing whatever to them, and then telling them, listen, go and find me more girls. And then those girls at the age of 15, 14, whatever, would go and tell their 14-year-old friends, if you need to make a couple dollars, 200 to be exact, give this old guy a massage. So first thing is, where are the parents? Where? Where are the parents at? Where are the parents? Where? That's number one. Let's just start right there. How did your 14-year-old get away from you? And these girls who, oh, I was vulnerable, and okay, you were vulnerable. You were vulnerable once. These girls were doing this for like 3 years. 3, 4 years, they kept doing it because he kept paying them. And they kept getting other girls. They would go out and recruit other girls, and then those girls would recruit other girls, and it became a pyramid, and they would do over and over, and he was paying all these girls. And I'm just wondering, at what age is accountability? Now, some of you may think I'm attacking the girl, but I'm not. I'm attacking society. Because there was a 12-year-old boy who killed an 8-year-old girl on accident, and they put him in grown man's prison. And they sentenced him for years in a grown man's prison. As soon as he got in there, he was raped, taken advantage of, and he was a 12-year-old black boy. This really did happen. There was an 18-year-old boy who raped a 14-year-old girl, tied her to a tree, and raped her, and he didn't do a day in prison. He was a white dude. He did not one day. It's the system what I'm attacking. The system is fickle, and it's not for everyone. It is not fair to everyone, and I don't care what nobody says. We've seen this over and over and over and over again. Jeffrey Epstein abused the system. And he pretty much thought he wasn't going to get in trouble because he was able to pay his way out of most of the trouble. What seems to have got Jeffrey in trouble was his arrogance. It wasn't the crime he was doing. And I'm just on the first part of the episode. But I don't think it was the crime Jeff was doing that got him in trouble. Because everybody was getting paid. And as long as everybody's getting paid, everybody's cool. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was cool. And even though these girls felt, oh, it was wrong of me, and he tried to touch me. And then one girl was like, I was 15 or whatever. He tried to touch me. I was standing in front of him, butt naked. Said, my friend recruited me. We both went in there. We both had all of our clothes off. We were both giving him a massage, standing there, butt naked. And it didn't click in your mind at 15 years old that this was wrong when your girl said that you had to take off all your clothes and give this guy a massage. She told you this, and you could have easily walked away. There were no guards there. There was nobody there to make you stay there. There was nothing. This girl could have turned around and walked away, but she was like, nah, I'm going in. And the girl who recruited you been doing it. So she took all of her clothes off too at the age of 14, 15 and strolled right on in there and was just like, what's good? And then your friend left and had you stand there by yourself, and then you became alarmed. Listen, if we're going to sentence 12-year-old boys, then we're going to sentence 15-year-old girls. And that's just that. If you're going to say these girls were vulnerable, then that boy was vulnerable. He was 12. And we've seen the police arrest 8-year-old girls, little black boys arrested. Shoot, this just happened recently where they had some little 6, 7-year-old girl in handcuffs on the ground. In handcuffs. I'm just saying, people, if we're going to play fair, let's play fair. These little white girls who were going out and getting little white girls to come in so Jeffrey can, look at them and lust in them and all this stuff and look at them naked. Come on now. If we going to be throwing black kids in jail, y'all already shooting them. Y'all already shooting black kids, but if we're gonna be throwing black kids in jail, then all of those girls who recruited even one, if you recruited even one girl and she went along with it, you are an accessory to a crime, and that's it, and that's all. I don't want to hear no she was vulnerable. I don't want to hear that because according to the system, okay. Here's another case. I'm just making it fair. Here's another case. Here's a black girl. She was coming home from school. She's 15 years old. And some guy, black guy, sees her, asks her, does she want to ride? She didn't even know him. Her and her goofy self says yes, jumps in the car. She jumps in the car with him. He takes her to, whatever house, and then 30 guys on her. And basically, he trafficked her, is what he did. And she said it was constant. They just came one after another, one after another. And there was at least 30 of them. Now, we've heard the same thing. What up, Steve? We've heard the same thing over and over again. So when they caught up to her and she went to the police arrested her for prostitution. They arrested her for prostitution. 15. So there wasn't a crime committed against her. So when I look at the Jeffrey Epstein case, I'm going, these 15-year-olds aren't committing crimes. This is not a crime. And in one case, the detective actually told the girl, she's like, look, you admitted to bringing in other girls. You are an accessory. And I was like, thank you. Thank you very much. Listen, the whole thing is wrong, but the system is what I'm attacking. If you're going to say it's wrong for one color, then you have to say it's wrong for the next. If you want the system to be fair. This is why there's so much chaos in the streets right now, and people are just running rampant because they know the law is not fair. And we've had example upon example upon example of the law being completely one-sided. You've even had some people who've been in court and they're white, and the judge telling them, I'm going to judge you like a black person. Anyways, the Epstein case is very, very interesting because it shows how corrupt the system is at the highest level. And that's not even at the highest level. Jeffrey Epstein, he wasn't at the highest level. He was a billionaire, but that's not the highest level. There's a level higher than that, and people you don't even see. But nonetheless, he exploited the system because he thought he could get away with it. But when enough people complained about it, and it got out of hand, that's when the walls came tumbling down on him. That's when he started getting investigated. And and even after he was getting investigated, they did not stop what he was doing until they said we had enough evidence. But I'm like, well, wait a minute. You know there is a crime against adolescents, but you wait till you have all. No. They should have, came in the door waving the 4-4 and been like, we're gonna stop this right now. See, the system is messed up. The whole system is messed up. You can't judge the rich and the poor differently. You can't judge different colored people differently. It just doesn't work like that. And until they get that right in their head, there's going to be civil unrest. Look, people are tired of asking for there to be fairness in the system. They're tired. Nobody's asking anymore. Nobody's asking for the system to be fair. They're like, okay, the system is unfair. You guys want to keep it unfair? Okay, well, let's just be unfair. That's why you got all that looting going on in Chicago. They figure what's in all of these stores is ours. All this land right here is ours. You guys took it, did what you want to, and then told us we can't even profit off our own land. So we're going to take everything on this land because it belongs to us anyway. And this is the madness that you created. And you can't stop it. What's going on? You came out of nowhere.
I know, right? How you doing?
I am doing good.
Good. Who's bothering you?
Over there, yeah, them over there, the folk over there.
Have a good one.
Yes, ma'am, you too.
Thank you.
Enough. I don't wanna, anyways, so that's all I gotta say for right now. I'm out.